Oh, whoa, whoa. Y'all light-skinned niggas calm down. Y'all a little bit too angry over that last post. You know what I'm saying? When y'all come in this world, y'all supposed to have good hair. You know what I'm saying? Us black niggas, we don't supposed to have this shit, so it just looks better on us. You know what I'm saying?
Back off my shoulder, man. What's wrong with you? Grandma, can you just give me some advice? Does my back look like Cordea's face now on the spot she smacked me at? I think she smacked the black off me, man. I think I'm out here looking like Cordea right now, bro. Looking like Shadow Man. CJ.
So, before I make this video, I just want to make a quick background check about situational ethics. Situational ethics is the doctrine of flexibility in the application of moral laws according to circumstances. Basically, it's an act that basically situationally polices certain political ideologies or behaviors of the human species based on circumstances rather than actual moral standards. And this is something that we see quite a lot in today's society, particularly this particular community that I'm about to talk about today. But anyways, we're about to dive into how this particular community has been using this doctrine better than any other community on the planet. So, lo and behold, let's get into it. Hello again, YouTube, Brown and Beige community here again, and after a long, lengthy absence, I am back. And today, we got another interesting topic today. And as you guessed it, we're going to be talking about situational ethics and how that relates to the black community of today in regards to light-skinned people. Because in the age we are in now of social, political consciousness and political correctness, what better time than now to speak on this topic? Because this particular community has really been getting away with a lot of passive-aggressive attacks on light-skinned people with little to no pushback. And that just ties into situational ethics, which is the doctrine and flexibility of circumstance. It is basically dependent on circumstances. And in the black community's case, they use this basically to police what is right and what is wrong. So basically, long story short, in regards to light-skinned people, it is perfectly fine to make jokes and talk about light-skinned people in any way, and it's really not, it's considered a joke and acceptable. But in regards to darker skinned people, if you crack those same jokes, all of a sudden it's wrong and you shouldn't say it, and you're basically historically unaware. And it's not just in regards to jokes, but basically a whole bunch of other things, particularly movie roles. I'm sure we've all seen basically how the black community basically policed Zoe Saldana as Nina Simone, which I guess kind of is wrong considering that she had to darken her skin up to play the character that she was portraying when she is a lighter skinned woman. Okay, fair enough. But at the same time, did the black community say anything about Tyler Perry darkening his or lightening his skin up to play Colin Powell? According to certain circumstances, shouldn't that be considered just as wrong as Nina Simone? Or better yet, shouldn't Nate Parker portraying Nat Turner, shouldn't that have been wrong, considering that Nat Turner was described as a rather light complexion? Or better yet, what about Parker Sawyer as Barack Obama, the first ever biracial president? I know that black community is one drop rule into the community, because if you're 1/4 black, that means you're black. Okay, whatever you say, community, whatever you say. But this is just some of the examples of situational ethics, and this just ties into what we're about to be talking about today, particularly those movie clips that I showed you guys. I mean, where do I even begin to talk about what? First of all, this rapper, Young Dolph. Now, I want you guys to think about this. Would this have been accepted as a joke if it was the other way around? Would people have gotten a laugh about it if it was a light-skinned man talking about how light-skinned men can get that certain hair texture and the dark-skinned dudes can't get it? Would people have taken it so lightly then? No. They would have been talking about how it's so wrong that he talked about that, and he's just another one of those uppity light-skins. Oh, he hates black people. He hates black features. Black is beautiful. Blah, blah, blah. It wouldn't have been as nearly as accepted. First of all, the fact that he would bring light-skinned men up, considering that in certain spaces of sphere that I'm sure you guys can guess, saying stuff like that would be considered effeminate, right? So shouldn't Young Dolph be considered effeminate for even bringing light-skinned men up? I thought there wasn't a complexion ward, so they say. What was the point of him even doing that? It was just very out of order and very out of pocket for him to even bring up how he basically gloating that he got light-skinned men's hair. And it looks better on us. Now, aren't you guys the same ones that tell us that we're conceited? Isn't that kind of conceited over what he said? It looks better on us. Like, can you imagine if a light-skinned man would have said any of the stuff he said in that video? Who knows what people would have done? People would have been social justice warring like crazy. And then you have all these pro-black YouTubers that would have hopped down his throat. But this is just the example of situational ethics. Basically, it's only wrong according to a certain set of circumstances. And let's also not even get started on the YouTube videos. Now, I want you guys to think about this. Think of how many light skin be like videos on YouTube. And honestly, it's kind of, the irony in the whole thing is, it's only light-skinned men. It's not so much light-skinned women. Well, in some cases it is. But it's basically a whole, like, TikTok thread, basically effeminizing light-skinned men. And it's usually by darker-skinned black men. Now think about this for a second. Let's say a light-skinned man goes on TikTok right now and makes a video of light skin be like and dark skin be like, but it's the other way around. He portrays light skinned people as uppity and sophisticated, but when it comes to the dark skin side, he's basically acting all wild and out of character. Basically, if he had like a plate and was eating the plate sophisticated as light skin, but was all wild as dark skin. Can you imagine what would happen if somebody ever did that? The backlash would be insane. Insane. And what's even more ironic is that light-skinned men are actually going along with this. In fact, in some cases, light-skinned men be the ones making the TikTok threads. And it has gotten so bad to the point where I'm even seeing other races hopping on the light skin be like threads. Now, how it just goes to show you like how much these people bash light-skinned men. Like, how would other groups of people even know about light skin and dark skin? It just basically goes to show you like how often light-skinned men seem to get brought up in a negative way, to the point now where even other races of people are hopping on this effeminizing light-skinned men. And where do you guys think this started from? Yes, I'm sure you know which group of men started it. So for all the people that try to masquerade like this is a war against women, couldn't be more wrong. They couldn't. I know I would like for it to be that way, but let's be honest. The only reason why it's not is because light-skinned men have rolled over and accepted it. Let's just tell it like it is. I know that's probably going to trigger some of my followers, but it's just the truth. We have accepted it. It has gotten so normalized that we basically treat it like nothing. Now I'm sure there's a couple that are getting tired of it, but there's probably about 1,000 that just go along and say, well, it's just black culture, they say. But would it have been so normalized and accepted if we ever were to do it? Like, is there even a thread right now that makes dark-skinned men look bad? Like, you just, the thought process that light-skinned men have to make videos like this, like, who's doing this? Like, why would light-skinned men even want to make themselves look weaker in the public? Who is putting these thoughts out there? I'm sure you guys probably know who it is, but let them tell it. It's the invisible Willie Lynch, who by historical documents never existed, and if anything, his letter was created just to throw us all into this rolling ball that is the community. But let's not get, that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother time. That's a rabbit hole that we're going to have to go deeper into in the future. But this right here is basically just some examples. And it just is mind-boggling to me how light-skinned men have basically been duped into making ourselves look weaker just to make this said group of men feel better about their circumstances. But this is just a prime example of situational ethics. This would be considered so wrong if it was the other way around and they get stereotyped, but it's all fun and games when we do. But this is just one of the reasons why I say that light-skinned men just need to take a step back and let the community destroy itself. Yes, I hate to say it that way, but it's just the truth. Even if we did try to save it, what benefit will we really get from it? Nothing. This community has proven time and time again that it really only uses us for its own agendas when it can. And light-skinned men just take the bait full line and sinker. But there is no example of situational ethics better than this recent situation we've had with DaniLeigh. And for all the people that haven't been paying attention, DaniLeigh, basically a Dominican woman by the way, is facing backlash over her Yellow Bone song. And this is interesting for a lot of reasons, because it's coming from the colorism camp, as you guessed it. But the irony in this whole situation is Beyonce, a light-skinned woman, just made a song called Brown Skin Girl, and these same women were praising Beyonce for that song, uplifting darker-skinned black women. Okay, fair enough. But how come this same camp of women bashed DaniLeigh to the point where she got canceled for this song? Now, isn't this coming from the same community of people that say that we should embrace all shades of black? So the brown skin girl song doesn't get any negative press, but the yellow bone song does. Now, mind you, this is coming from the same community that loves to throw Dominicans and Puerto Ricans in the community because of the one drop rule. And they're ninjas too because they have black features and they have black in them, even though it's probably only about 25%. But they're black too. We come in all shades of black. So shouldn't this be embraced the same way? Shouldn't people be happy that all shades are represented, so you guys say? But no, DaniLeigh was canceled for this. And even before DaniLeigh, there was a video of a light-skinned, fully black woman that did the exact same thing, and they just took her video down. Her video got so much backlash that she basically took it down. And her comment section was just full of these social justice warriors talking about how light-skinned women are uplifted everywhere. Just let dark-skinned women have their shine. Blah, 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 blah. But this is just situational ethics at its finest. It's wrong when light-skinned women do it, but it's right when dark-skinned women are uplifted. And another thing that I find very interesting is DaniLeigh's ex-boyfriend, DaBaby. Now, mind you, this is coming from the same guy who...
We talking about what, chocolate, dark chocolate,
Yeah.
milk chocolate.
Tell them what you had said. Go on, get to the point with them. Go ahead. We gonna let them chew.
Okay, it's a difference. He say he's sexual. He the most sexual.
The prettiest chocolate nigga alive, and bruh say he go by the name of
Sexual chocolate.
Come on now, and I'm the prettiest chocolate nigga alive. So you bitches don't ever get that shit confused, man. Stay in your motherfucking lane. You
and on me.
Exactly.
But he ain't lying on me, man.
Yeah, you light skinned ass niggas stay in your motherfucking lane.
So light skinned niggas, y'all need to get y'all shit together, pussy.
Prettiest chocolate nigga alive, and my dog.
Sexual chocolate.
Believe that.
Whore.
Light skinned ass nigga. Light skinned ass. Hey kid, come here, kid. Come on, young nigga. We hold this shit down now. We hold this shit down. You niggas gotta quit playing with us, man.
Live in the fit.
Yeah, my boy was
2020, we going up our motherfucking Europe, pussy.
basically had a video where he was telling, oh, you light-skinned niggas stay in your lane. Okay, that's interesting for a lot of reasons, considering that this guy who went on Instagram right now is talking about how he's the prettiest chocolate nigga alive, and tells light-skinned men to stay in their lane, but at the same time is dating a woman that's not only not even black, but is Dominican. Now, I'm sure DaBaby is probably one of those proud dark-skinned dudes that basically says, well, they're black too, but at the same time, he tells light-skinned men to stay in their lane, but is dating a quote-unquote light-skinned woman. That is very interesting. Shouldn't somebody be telling DaBaby to stay in his lane? Oh, he should be staying in his lane, dating a woman that's his color. Stay in your lane, DaBaby. But he goes and dates a Dominican woman, and he's probably one of those. It's the irony in this whole situation is these dudes are always trying to one-drop rule anybody that's visibly black as long as they're a woman. But if it's a man, they will only tolerate them long enough until competition arises. And I wish light-skinned men would understand this. That you guys can get along just fine until it looks like light-skinned men are starting to slowly climb out of this hole that we've been dug into by particular groups of men that I'm sure everyone could guess for reasons that have to do with competition. Yeah, they'll tolerate you long enough until you start gaining something that they feel they should have. You are only as black as they say you are. And my question for light-skinned men is, why do you want to keep dealing with this? Why keep staying in the community that uses us whenever it sees fit? And I guess, debatably, you could say light-skinned women are the same way, particularly with Meghan Markle and Kamala Harris. Now, this is just situational ethics at its finest, because if you swap either one of their husbands and make him a dark-skinned black man, all of a sudden she's the most exotic non-black woman there is. Oh, these dark-skinned men just love light-skinned, racially ambiguous women. They're not black, blah, blah, blah. But the second they date a white man, they're black all of a sudden. If they gain status, they're black. Would Kamala Harris be black if she was married to a dark-skinned black man? No, of course not. She would be one of those founding colors crybaby. She would basically be the honorary light-skinned. And you have the colorism camp talking about light-skinned chameleons and all that. Like there really is a benefit to being associated with the toxicity that has become the contemporary society of ADOS. Funny. It's hilarious. But these women would not be considered black if it didn't benefit dark-skinned black women. And the same with dark-skinned black men. If it doesn't benefit them to claim light-skinned men is black, they won't do it. Particularly when you hear these talking points of how, oh, black women just prefer the exotic men with loose hair and light skin. You hear the irony in this whole situation is you hear this talking point quite often when it comes to these videos talking about, oh yeah, in the 80s they preferred exotic men and they didn't like us, blah blah blah. Now keep this in mind. Think about this. These guys are basically crying about something that happened to them practically all the way before we were even born. But these would be the same guys that talk about how we need to look past how people are stereotyping us and get over it. But yet they can't get over something that happened to them practically in the 70s. When I hear people say that, I wish I could just slap them. And honestly, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing people talk about this. And the first thing that you say, oh, well, y'all still get women. As if women. So basically, this just all has to do with women. First of all, how would these guys even know? Second of all, this absolutely does not have anything to do with women. It has to do with principle and image. You guys hate how you're stereotyped, but yet you love to stereotype us. Make it make sense. Now, I have one more clip to show you guys. And this clip is probably the clip that takes the cake the most. Basically, a clip of Charlemagne, the god. Basically, that's just delusion already. But let's look at what he said in this eyebrow raiser of a video.
Even with Steph, I enjoy watching Steph. Steph is one of the few light-skinned men I actually root for.
Why is that?
I just don't root for beige guys like that.
Why do you think that you have a beige prejudice?
I do. I'm sorry. It goes back to New Jack City. I'm sorry. I know people are listening and like, this is that complexion bullshit. I forgot the fucking... Colorism. There you go. I was trying to figure out the woke term they use.
Yes,
that colorism shit. But listen, that's just one of the things I haven't unlearned yet.
Right.
New Jack City. Nino Brown.
It got in you.
Stabbed Christopher Williams in the hand and said, I never liked your pretty ass anyway, and then choked him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, that's in me.
Now.
And the fact that most light-skinned men I've met other than T.I.,
Right.
are absolutely the stereotype of all light-skinned men.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? T.I. and Chris Brown. Beige with dark-skinned tendencies, both of them.
Okay.
Well, and dark-skinned stereotypical tendencies, so to speak, yes.
Right.
And I only really got like 2 light-skinned dudes I communicate with on a daily basis. My homeboy DJ Frosty.
Me.
One of my best friends. And DJ Envy.
Right.
And I mean, come on. If I'm trying to unlearn something, I can't work with a guy every day who reinforces every
Those
fucking
negative
stereotype
stereotypes.
of light-skinned men.
Okay, so there are a certain group of blacks that you
I don't like how you say blacks. I meant to tell you that last podcast. I did. This is very triggering. I don't like that. I don't like. You have to stop saying blacks.
Does it sound like there's some N-word in it?
Yes, it sounds very fucking harsh. And you say it every time. Blackberries. The blacks. Duval is in Meet the Blacks. All right. I like those new Jordans, the black ones. All right.
Dude.
Why are you so fucking dressed up?
Listen. Wow.
Ever since you started dating a black man.
Oh, shit.
Fucking...
No, what? Oh, thank you so much. She just went to go give me my Zyrtec. You know what I mean? I like this outfit, though, Paige.
I don't.
A little red dress.
It's pants. It's hot out.
Oh, that's pants.
Pantsuit's played out, bro. Pantsuit's been played out since Hillary lost, bro.
Damn, why you gotta hate on this woman, bro? Cause she light skinned, dude? Jesus.
Now, what were you saying about blacks?
Okay, so these blacks, right? These black ass blacks that you don't like, or these beiges. Can we call them? Can I call them beiges?
I call them beige.
Okay.
Waffle colored Negroes.
I don't know if I'm gonna go there.
Yeah.
I think I'll stay with beige.
Okay.
You know, so. Do you have the same energy for the beige women community, the beige female community? Because you have some beige female friends.
None.
Right? Amanda Seals is a beige.
None, nothing, no qualms with the women at all.
So a beige woman and a beige man do not have the same characteristics.
No, beige women are way more gangster than beige men.
And there you have it. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth itself. Where do I even begin to explain the level of nonsense in this video? First of all, this guy, Charlemagne the bum, basically, talks about how Steph Curry, and we all know who Steph Curry is one of the few beige men he roots for. Now, can you imagine the backlash of a light-skinned man were to say something like that about LeBron? Oh, LeBron is one of the few chocolate men I actually root for. There would be people coming with that whole Wakandian-centric, we're all black talking point all day, every day. Or how he... First of all, he's on a panel with 2 guys who don't even look like... For one, they look like they're white, basically. So he's on a panel talking about light-skinned men to 2 white panel members. This is very interesting. Because it's just amazing how comfortable he is saying all this stuff. This is just the ultimate example of situational ethics. There is no way a light-skinned man would be able to say even half of the things that he said in this video. Or at the very end, beige women are way more gangster than beige men. That is it just goes to show you like who their beef is with. Well, they only like light-skinned women as long as they pretty much accept Blackistan's ideology. But if they don't, that's when their beef with light-skinned women comes. He basically is saying all this stuff and called light-skinned men waffle-colored Negroes. Now, I think we all know what happens if we even whisper anything about dark-skinned people's complexion. They could be practically 1 year old and will carry that to the grave. The grave. But this guy can say this and nobody calls him out for it. See, this right here is just a prime example of situational ethics. All these clips, including the one where the CJ So Cool guy basically talks about equating his skin getting slapped off to his daughter's face. The jokes write themselves. Now, we had a situation like this with this DMB Nation couple where it was talking about how dark their daughter was, and backlash on top of backlash. But this guy can say something like this about a little baby, and as always, no backlash. No backlash. I don't really know how much more I could say this to light-skinned people. As long as this is the way this is, it's going to continue. It's not going to change. It's always going to be like this. And it's only going to get worse. Now that we're in this new age now of political correctness, well, in regards to certain groups of people, that is. These people are just going to get more and more comfortable doing stuff like this. It's only going to get worse. Like Charlemagne, these are just some of the people. There's a lot of cases where a lot of this stuff doesn't even, like the stuff people says are way worse than this, and nobody says anything about it. What more can you say? But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody, and peace out.